Hi, this is Zach here with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Thursday, the 22nd of May. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which has managed to bull trap through the old March peak, 87.43 or so. I think that was almost exactly the number there. So we need an end-of-day close back above that today to negate today's current fall and then take us on to 9,000 by the end of next month. On the downside, probably the worst at the moment, it's seen as being around 86.50, which was the initial May resistance for this market. Moving along to the DAX, and here slight pullback again with the sort of jitters over the bond market, which normally turn out to be false jitters. But anyway, at the moment, we're still looking for this market to get to the top of that rising 2024 trend channel there, 24,300, and we're looking for that while we remain above 23,500, the old resistance of March. Next up is obviously the Dow, as it normally is, and here we've got a situation where we had bull trap through that resistance line there from February, which is rather disappointing because it should not have been a bull trap. Bull trap through the old March peak as well, and a bull trap through the rising 200-day moving average, which leaves us in a rather sticky situation, looking for support probably at the 50-day line there. 41,000, but at least it is rising along with the 200-day line. So hopefully, once that is out of the way, maybe we fill the gap down to 41,600, then we can go higher. RSI still above neutral 50, so not yet in the panic zone. Moving on to the situation at Bitcoin, and here we are having the breakout. The initial suggestion was that 120,000 by the end of this month, and it was maybe back to the end of next month, but it actually now looks as though there is a chance, even though it's a slim chance, of getting up to 120,000 by the end of this month. In fact, the top of that channel there now pointing to about 122,000, which really would be quite miraculous. The other point to note is that we have had a cross between the 50 and 200-day lines. It's a golden cross, and it certainly was the case that the run-up to the golden cross with yesterday's move was the strong part of the cycle. So looking good for 120,000, especially if we can get a decent end-of-day close above the old 2025 resistance at 109. Back to gold, and here you can see that we are trying to resume the big rally here that we had. We were hoping here 3,800 by the end of this month, but obviously May so far has been a dithering month rather than a strong one. Bear trap rebound from below the rising 50-day line, 31.77. At least while we're above that, looking for a break of this April resistance line, 3,400. And then a move to 3,800 now by the end of next month. But the RSI in a good place at 56, so we could get a decent amount of the way towards that 3,800 target by the end of this month. Moving on to the stocks, and I think I was the only person covering Aurrigo when it jumped last month, breaking neckline resistance around 50 pence. Had a big pullback, bull trap pullback from below, or above rather, 80 pence, and just bounced off the 200-day line. Current position is that above recent resistance at 67 pence, we're looking for at least 87 pence and probably by the end of this month. Great contract there with Swissport, and in fact keeping it sort of quiet. The ultimate target here is we're hoping it will be around 134, which is or was the old peak from 2023-2024, but that's probably something for either next month or July. Moving on to Alert, which is Castle Capital, which was, can't remember what it was before that, but Gfinity perhaps, but here we've got Castle breaking the second target there at 0.17. Above that, we're actually going full blast towards the top of the range and as high as 0.45. Today's board appointment obviously going down well, and yesterday's unfilled gap to the upside also helping. Initial target may be the top of the gap down there from July at 0.35, but really here we're looking for the full Monty and 0.45 by the end of next month. Moving along to electric guitar, which we had a great request for yesterday, and here shares making good ground towards our Second target there at 0.17, that was the old low there from November. I suppose if you're a fan of the shares and looking for the full Monty again, you'd be targeting the 200-day moving average at 0.37, and I have to say, in current market conditions, that is a sort of target that stocks tend to go for. They go for the crazy ones rather than the conservative ones. Haven't looked at Ironveld for a long time. There was some news from the company today. Here, though, the charting has been continuing nicely. We've hit our first target there, 0.048, let's call it, and looking for the next level up as high as 0.063 by the end of next month. So a nice turnaround there on that. Kavango also looks as though it's back. Here it's set on the basis of the rising 50-day line. Just need to break the recent resistance around current levels. If you're cautious, maybe wait for an end-of-day close above the 200-day line at 0.86. But the target here for the end of next month, while we're above the 50-day line at 0.71, is 1.1 pence. Let's see if Kavango can deliver. Moving on to Kefi, where it looks as though crackpot commentators have capitulated, but here we actually have a reasonable technical setup in the sense that we bounced off the 200-day line 0.55 yesterday, and we've sort of bounced quite well from there up to 0.59. End of day close above 0.59. Or 0.58 rather, the old February resistance. We could be back up for our 0.75 target by the end of next month. So let's see if that happens. There's also been an RSI 50 rebound. So from a technical basis, if one can put the fundraise aside, actually quite a strong performance there from Kefi. Lunglife is next, and here picture is of a sideways shuffle above a rising 50-day line. That tends to be, if you follow this bulletin board here, is one of the strongest setups you can get, and so therefore we are upgrading the initial target here by the end of next month up to 9 pence, hoping that at some point very soon the shares will explode and fill that gap up to 9 pence and hit the top of that falling trend channel. The rally started here with a bear trap gap reversal, unfilled gap off the low, so this looks very strong indeed. Upside valid, at least while we're above or on the right side of 3.3 pence recent support. Another situation which has come back nicely has been Mast. Long turnaround here, but we've hit our first target there at 0.34. Above that, looking for as high as 0.58 by the end of next month. So all these stocks are really screaming bull market, and the upside valid, especially while we're above recent resistance at 0.3 pence, above 0.3 up to 0.58. On to Mila. Here the situation is that we've hit our first target there at the top of that falling trend channel at 0.5. Above that, looking for a swift move to 0.84 rather. That's the top of the broadening triangle there from this time last year. That could actually be seen by the end of this month, although I suppose we're going to give it till the end of next month just to be conservative and restrained in our forecast. But the upside valid, certainly while we're on the right side of 0.58, which was resistance on the way down. Onto a stock with the least glamorous name on the London market, Norman Broadbent. Apologies to anyone with either name there, but broken the recent resistance at 3.5 pence. Above that, looking not only for the 50-day, rather the 200-day line at 4.3 pence, but actually up to 7.5 pence by the end of next month. Really strong stuff here. 50-day line also rising, so it's a sideways shuffle above a rising 50-day line, which tends to be a very good signal there. On to Seed, where I suppose the shares are still trading at a massive discount to NAV and all the other horrible stuff that happens in the London market, or has been happening. Here looking for 2.4 pence now that the shares have broken their first target there at 1.3 pence, 1.8 pence rather, and similar pattern with all these stocks actually. Sideways shuffle above a rising 50-day line coming to life, and that is a very good sign for the market, I would suggest. Top of the heap, though, at the moment is definitely the Smarter Web, of doing great guns, or delivering great PR for the Aquis market, in the sense that this is one of the best performers at the moment. We've got the rising trend channel there. The shares have actually bounced off the rising trend channel that I've drawn, so the floor of that channel currently at 39 pence. Above that, looking for 75 or 80 pence, perhaps even as soon as the end of next month. Obviously, the initial target there, 52 pence, the previous peak for the shares. Moving along to a situation which is looking interesting as well at the moment. Woodbois. Normally this stock gives everyone a pie in the face, but on this occasion it's trying not to. Rising 50-day line there at 0.05, and above that we are looking for 0.087, perhaps as soon as the end of next month. Sellers permitting, I think one can say. Moving on to the last two. First one is Tiger Royalties, where the great and the good are really behind this stock. We've gapped up above the 200-day moving average, the black line there, at 0.118. All that's missing now really is for the 200-day line to start rising. If it can do that, then we'd expect a rather more powerful move towards 0.2 pence, hopefully in the next few days by the end of this month. Upside value while we hold above the latest gap, 0.13. Finishing off with the Works, which has had a great move to the upside today, just in the run-up to a golden cross, so it sort of proves that particular theory. Shares in a broadening triangle here from way back in 2023, top of the triangle there, 50 pence. We're looking for that by the end of next month while we remain above the 30 pence zone. We're looking for a golden cross to happen next month. That's for me today. More updates tomorrow.